Hello guys, welcome to my channel. Today I have a brand new fresh video for you guys, and it's about API development in Django REST framework, DRF. And I'm going to make it with my MySQL database and Django REST framework. And I hope you know a little bit about Django and a little bit about web development in general, and some JSON object representation you need to know about it. So let me show you what is JSON is. So this is actually a task API that I have created, which has an ID, title, and completed, and some information, which is a JSON format. As you can see, it is called the JSON format, and all the information in the API are mostly in JSON format. So this is a very universal format for all the API development or backend development. So you must have to know what the JSON format is, and this is actually like this. So this is very important to understand. And you need to know a little bit about MVT pattern, which is Django's main model view template pattern. A little bit knowledge about it would be fine. So what is the model of our MVT pattern would be? So our main model would be the database representation of our API, which has an ID, name field, its category, its price, its description, how many stars it gets based on its review. So this is the product API that I'm going to build, which has this type of fields: ID, name, category, price, description, and stars. So what is our to-dos? Okay, we need to install the Django REST framework, which is a must thing. We need to know about Django decorators, which will conserve the API view, and we need to use this kind of method or the decorator. We have to also know the get and post request idea of any framework. So get request is actually what we get from the response, and the post request is what we post to the server of any data that is which is in format of post. That what we post in the server is actually the post request. What we get from the server from any URL hit is the get request. And you also know a little bit about the response, what we get from the database or the API URL. What we get actually from this API when we call it in the browser is actually the API response. And the last thing is the serializer. Serializer is very important thing. The model data, which is these model datas, these are in Django model representation, which are in the database. We need to get those data from the database, and we need to serialize that data into the JSON format, which is this format. Okay, so this is all the model data that we have in the database, but we are converting it into JSON format. For that we need serializer to model our data. Okay, and in serializer we will pass our model, which is these things. Okay, so this is the main thing of the serializer. Our operation will be create operation, and it takes post, because we are not getting anything from the database, we are just posting some data to the server. List of all, this is actually a method that we get all the products in our database to show all the products. And view product based on ID, it means that we get only one product from the database, not all. Okay. And update the product by getting its ID, and based on this ID we'll update this product. And because we are updating the product, we need to pass some more information to that product in the database. So that's why when we are posting something, we need to use post method. Okay, when we want to delete some product from the database using the API, we need to also get the ID of that particular product that we want to delete, and this is also a get. So delete is a get request, view the product by this ID is get request, and list of all the product that we get from the database is also get request. But when we want to create something, we need to post. So these are the main important thing. As a database, I'm going to use the MySQL. So let me create one database for you guys, and for that you need to use XAMPP. So I'm going to use XAMPP. So this is our XAMPP. You just need to click start, Apache server, and MySQL. And when it starts, you can just work with your MySQL database. PHP myadmin. This is very simple. In PHP project also you have to use this kind of thing. And you need to create this new database and name it as Django REST product API. Django REST product API. create, and our database is created successfully. Now we need to copy the same name. So our database making is complete. Now we need to create our Django project. So you need to go to Django REST API, and here let me create another one. For that I'm going to go our terminal. This is actually the terminal that I'm using, which is git bash, and in this directory I'm going to call a command Django admin. Okay, start project. This is the command that we use to create any Django web application in general. We need to call it product API. This is our product API that we are going to build. And just open this folder with your favorite VS Code editor. Okay, it's created. Now here open the terminal and see our root directory is product API. Now you need to create an app, because this is actually our project, whole project. A whole project contains a lot of app in the Django. Okay, so you need to create an app for it first. So for that we need to write Python manage.py start app. I will call it API. Okay, so as we have created an app in Django, we need to know the Django project in settings.py file that we created an app, new app, and we need to include that in install.py. Okay, so for that, how you can get the app? We have to go API, which is our app, and apps.py, and this is app config, API config. Just copy the same name and go to the product API, which is the project level, our main project level settings.py file, and go to here, and here you will write API, which is our app name dot apps dot API config. This API config is coming from our main API apps dot py, this file. Okay, you just need to add it to the settings.py file, api.apps.config, and it is a must. When you create any app, you need to set the install app and add those app in your main project. This is a very important. Now we need to install another thing, which is Django REST framework. Pip install Django REST framework. Don't keep any space, just write Django REST framework. Okay, so I have already installed the Django REST framework. I don't need it, but in case of yours, you will need it. Okay, and you need to add the same thing. You need to add the REST framework as well. You will write REST underscore framework. Okay, REST underscore framework. Now our API is based on our model class, which is the representation of our database. So before I write the model, which is our main API format of our representation of our database of that particular product model, so before I create that, I need to set up my MySQL database. So I already wrote all those configuration file in another project, so I'm just copying all those things. So these are the main file that we need to add to our data, to our settings.py file in our main project. So I'm copying all of those things. This is the database configuration file that we have added, and this is all information needed to connect with MySQL database. Okay, so our database name would be like Django REST product API. Okay, so this is our database name, Django REST product API, user root and password none, host is this one, and port. So this is all the thing that we need to configure our main API with the MySQL database. Now we have to create our main model in the API file, which is our main app. Okay, so this is very important, be careful. We need to create class product, which is models dot, and it has some field which is name, category, price description, name, which is models dot character field max length of 200. Okay, null is equals to false, is equals to false. Okay, so you cannot put blank in this name, it is must required. Okay, then we have price. Price is equals to models dot decimal field, and decimal field takes max digit of 4 and it takes decimal places of 2. Okay, so we have important fields, which is name, models dot character field, which is contain maximum of 200 max length, and it cannot be null. Okay, so null is equals to false, blank is equal to false. As well as category, it is also type character field, and price is decimal field, which can hold maximum of 4 digit and 2 decimal places. Okay, so this is important. So 2 decimal places is suppose our product price is for $50 and 35 cents. So this is actually 2 decimal places. If it is 355, then it is 3 decimal places. Okay, so keep in mind that for price we use decimal field. In case you don't know anything about it, go to the decimal field of Django documentation. It is really good. You can see it, and it has all the attribute like blank, null. See, it has all the fields that you need to learn. Suppose models dot decimal field, it can hold maximum 5 digit and decimal places 2. You can see all the attribute that we need for our decimal field. So you just Google it, you will learn many things about it. Then we have description. In description we have models dot text field, and you don't need to pass anything, and it is also having a stars. Stars is models dot integer field. Integer field. Okay, it can hold only integer values in our database. Okay, and text field holds the text inputs that we write in the form or any object. It can hold only text documents, and integer field only hold the integer numbers in your database. And price is actually the decimal field. Price is category is character field, and name is also character field. Okay, so you know all the things in Django documentation of model. You can go there and learn all the things. It is also having an ID, but it is auto incremented in our database, so we don't need to write it manually. Okay, so we need to write one more function, which is dunder method. We call it str. It will contain a self, and it will return self dot name, the name of our product. Okay, so when we go to the database to add all the product in the Django admin panel, we need to show what the name of our actual product is. So that's why we need that. Now we need to go to the main urls.py file. Okay, so this is our main urls.py file. So you need to copy this and just paste here, and we just name it API slash. This is our main root directory for our API. Okay, we need to import one more thing, which is include. Okay, let me delete this, which is include API dot URLs. It will include our main API. This API is our app name API dot URLs, its own URL, because this API file, API app file, will also contain its own URL. So you need to create a new file, which is urls.py file. So it will point to this urls.py file. Okay, so save that. This is our main project level urls.py file. Okay, so this is our main project root directory. So in the app level urls.py file that we have created, we need to add the Django URLs import path, and in the URL pattern you will write path, and this is our main root directory. Okay, so we need to import our views. So let me create our main URLs that we want to do. Like we need to add create list, view, update, and delete, this kind of thing. Okay, so you need to create dev API overview it will take a request Okay, and I will write API URLs, and this will contain list of product / list. Okay, then it will contain detail view. Detail view will also contain product / detail of a particular ID of any product. Okay, detail view. And we don't need to pass any ID to this product / create. And then we can update / update, and it will also need an ID of the particular product that you want to update. It will also take product / detail, and it also need an ID. Okay, so we have a list of product, detail view, create, update, and delete. So these 5 things that we need from REST framework dot response import response. We need to get a response. Okay, so for that we need to get the class of response from the REST framework. So it will say return response API URLs. Okay, urls.py file. In the root directory of the app, we need to call views dot API overview. We need to call that function from the view, which is API overview, this function, to urls.py file. When we go to the main our root directory, we will call that function, and we will give it a name of API overview. So when we want to see this in actual url.py file, we need to run our server, which is python manage.py run server. It will serve python manage.py run server. It will run our main Django server. So we have an error, which is model is not defined. We need to go this models.character field. So we need to write extra models.character field. Oh, also we need to import views. Okay, to import our views, this method into our urls.py file. So from dot import views. Okay, so we need to add views.api view. When we call this API view function, it will create this function and give us the request of API view, which will see list product list / detail view product / detail of in particular product ID, create it, update it, and delete all of those things in the API response. And we need to pass this API URL so that we can see it. When we hit this URL, our root URL, it will contain this information: python manage.py run server. And we need to go /API. So we have an error. So from REST framework dot decorators import API view. So we need to add our decorators, which is add API view get request. Okay, which will contain get request. So when we add the decorator of API overview, when you go there, API.urls, we created our main URLs, this file, to our project and response. Now we need to add our list of product, okay, in the database. For that, we need to go to admin and from dot import models. From so in the admin file, we need to add our models from dot models import product. Okay, so we need to write admin dot site dot register. We'll register our product so that we can add all the information from the Django admin panel. So we need to now import all of our models into database. So for that we need to migrate our models. For that we need to write Python manage.py make migrations. So we created our create model product in the database. Okay, so we need to migrate it so that we can save all the information, name, category, price, description, stars of our product model into the database permanently. So we need to write Python manage.py migrate. So see, all the informations of our model would be set up in our database. So this two information, migration, make migrations, is important to create our model product, and then we need to migrate that shows all the information in our database and migrate all the information to our PHP MySQL database server. Okay, so these two things are so super important. So save it, and when we go to the localhost and refresh it, and as you can see, our main API product is added, and it has all the field name, category, ID, price, description, and stars. So our main database model is established. Okay, with these two commands. And now when you want to see this, go to migrations and go to initials.py file. See, our model is created of product. It has all the fields that we described in our models.py file. Okay, so this is super important. So this is done. Now when we want to create a super user, which is Python manage.py create super user, so that we can access to the admin panel. So I will give it my name and email address and any password, and say Y to create it. Okay, so our super user created successfully. Now we have the total access of our information that we want to add in the API from the main Django admin panel. So to get into the Django admin panel, we need to make sure our server is running, Python manage.py run server, and go there and go /admin, and here you write your name that you have set up and your password. Okay, name, password that we have set up in your this panel. Okay, so create super user. So go there, API, which is your app name, and its product, and product is your main product model, and here you can add all the product information. You can give it any name, suppose Asus gaming monitor. This category is desktop, price $200, and see, you have all the information that you can add. That's why you need decimal field. You can add all of those things. So $200.50, and description Asus gaming desktop description. So all the things, and it has stars of 4.5. okay, which is, let's give it star of 4 because it is integer field, and save it. So let's give it a price of $50.50 and save it, and it's added Asus gaming monitor. So that's why we added our, in models.py file, we added dev_star self.name, which is our name of that product, which is Asus gaming monitor. When you click on this, you can see all the information. See, that's why that function is important. Now you need to create more product. Let's give it a star of 3, suppose, or give it 5 out of 5 and save it. Those two information. Let's add one more thing. Aspire gaming laptop, and category of laptop, price is, description Acer Aspire series gaming laptop. Okay, it starts of 3. Okay, Now save it. Let's give it 90. Okay. So these are the information. Now our main important thing is to create a serializer. Okay, so we need to go to the API app file in the new and create a new file called serializer.py. So here we will add from REST framework import import serializers, and what we want to serialize, our models. Okay, from dot models import product. So the product model we want to serialize. Now we have to create a class serializer, which is of product serializer, which will extend serializers dot model serializer, which will have a class of meta model is equals to our product is the model, and field would be all. So all the field we want in our product model, so all the fields, name, category, price, description, stars, we want all the field in our product model to serialize. Okay, so that's why it is product serializer. Okay, so save it. When we want like some field, like suppose I want name and its price, you will serialize only two fields, name and price. When you select all, then it will serialize all. Okay, all the fields, not specified. So this is all the thing that we want to. We just import a serializers, and we created a class called product serializer to serialize our main product information on all the product field, because we need to serialize so that we can convert it into JSON format for the API. And now we need to import that thing to the views.py file. From .serializers import product serializer, and we need to import from .models import product, because we need to serialize our models. So here we need to create a function. First we need to have API view, which will be like get, because we need to get all the information that we have added from the admin panel. So dev show all product. It will have a request, and it will take products is equals to product dot objects dot all. We need to see all the products in our database, and we need to serialize is equals to product serializer. In the product serializer we need to pass all the products, and many is equals to true, because we will have lots of product from our database, not only one, many product. When we need to get all the products per objects.all, we need to select many is equals to true, other case many is equals to false. Okay, first we need to get all the information in our database, all the product, then we need to serialize it, okay, using the product serializer, and we want to serialize our product information and many is equals to true. And then we need to write return response, and the response we will have serializer dot data. All the data we have serialized, we need to get all the response of it. And I need to select show all. We need to go to yours.py file and path, and path will select list of product views dot show all product, and its name would be product list. Okay, list of product, and save it. So when we go to the URL of list slash, it will show us all the product. product slash list. Just name it product slash list. Okay, it will show all the product. Oh, this is API view. So this is actually the API view. Okay, so now it's working. So I just make a simple mistake. It would be API view of get, and it will show all the information of the products in our database that we have added in the Django admin panel, and then it will serialize all the data of product serializer. We need to serialize all the product that we get from the database, and that we get the response of serialized.data. And when we see that information like product list evers.py product dash list, it should show us all the information. Okay, slash API slash product list. Creating a model serializer without the fields attribute or exclude attribute been deprecated. Now disallowed, and an explicit all to the product serializer. So actually I made a mistake in the serializers.py file. Our meta is model is equals to product that we need to serialize, and our fields is all. It is not field, it's actually fields. We want all the fields in our model.py file. Okay, so everything is perfect now. When we go to product slash list, and it will show all the information of our product and that we get from the database. It will show all the information. So when we go there now, as you can see, now it's working perfectly. When you go to the JSON format, as you can see, its ID is 1, name, category, price, description is stars. It is showing all the information from the database, and our database is like that. Just refresh it. As you can see, ID, name, category, price, description, all the things that we added from the Django admin panel is coming from the database with an API request of this. Okay, looks awesome. Now same as before, to write more functions, and another one is show single product. View product, it will take an ID of primary key, and in case of product we need to write it single product, which is objects dot get product based on ID is equals to primary key. Based on ID we need to parse our product from the database, and you need to serialize the product, and you need to serialize this single product that we want to get the view. It means that view product means we need to see only one product information, not many. So that's why many is equals to false here. Okay, then to response we want the information to show. That's why we pass serialize.data into response. Save it and copy this to urls.py file. It would be views dot view product view or product detail, just name it detail, based on integer ID of primary key, integer ID of primary key. Okay, it will have an ID of 1 or product detail. So let's copy this thing and save it, and we need to get the information of product detail of 1. So we get the information of product ID 1, which is product ID. Product detail is actually the URL, which is product detail, and integer primary key, which is ID, is actually this ID of 1. Okay, which is integer field. So we get the information of product ID 1. When we select product ID of 2, we get product ID of 2 information. So this is the product detail page. Now we go to views.py file, and here we need to write another request, which is create product. Create product. So we don't need any particular ID to show, and we don't need that as well. So don't need that, we need to create something. Okay, so for that, to create the product, and the product that we need to create actually our data that we want to pass, and the data is coming from the request dot data. So request data is actually the fields that we need to get the data from. Put all the data in the API format, in the JSON format, and it will get all the data using request.data and save it our data and send it to our serializer. And when to see that data, it will work. Okay, so we are getting all the data from the user using request.data and sending it to product serializer. So we can write if logic, if serializer dot valid. If it is a valid format, then serializer dot save. We need to save all the information that we get from the request.data. Okay, and we will return response serializer.data. So in create, we will use post. Okay, post API view, because we are posting something to the database, not getting anything. So for that we need to post, and in the serializer, product serializer, we need to pass all the data that is user given in the JSON response, and when it is valid, it will save it to the database, and then it will show us all the information as serialize.data. So let's do this. The pipe file, let's copy this and paste it, which is product create. We don't need to pass any ID here. You start create product and product create. Okay, this is not product list. This is would be product detail. This is for product detail, which is having an ID, and show all is product list. It is called product list name, and it is name of product detail. And the last one that we have created now is product dash create, which will create the product create function, which is called, and its name is product dash create. So let's go there to a server and just name it create product create. Now you can create any product and paste here. Its ID should be 4. This is Dell gaming monitor. Its price is 55.5. This is Dell gaming monitor. It starts at 5. See, our information is added, which is ID of 4, Dell gaming monitor, category of desktop, price, description, Dell gaming monitor, which is starts of 5. So it's added. Now when we want to see the list of all the product, because we added just product, another product, which is number 4. See, our product is added. Now let's check the database, just refresh and see our ID of 4, Dell gaming monitor, is added. So now we have 4 information in our database, 4 product information. Now let's create a route for update. We need to update it. Update product. Update product, and for update we also need to use post API view, and we get the product that we want to update. Then we serializer. We need to use instance is equals to product. In update view, we need the product of each particular product querying by its ID. So that's why we need PK, which is primary key information, with the request as well. So we get the object dot get using the primary key, and in the post serializer, our instance will be coming using the primary key of that product. Okay, now we just need to add data is equals to request dot data that we want to give to the database as well. Okay, our instance is our task that we given from the database, and data is equal to request dot data is actually the data that we want to send as an API response, is a post object as a post request to the API view, which is like that, like this one. So in the create, like this, we need to give some information as a user. So that's why you need data is equal to request.data as an updated one. And also we need the product from the database as well. So in update, we need the data using its ID from the database, as well as the user information. We need to post that using data is equal to request.data. So now if serializer dot is valid, if it's valid, then serializer dot save. So in create and update, we need to save it. Then we get the response of serializer dot data. Have product slash update, which will take an integer primary key ID. Okay, primary key product slash update. It would be update product, and go there. Update. We want to update like number 4. Update number 4. Let's copy this first. First, we need to get the list of all the products. Product slash update of 4. Okay, let's update it. Let's do it MSI gaming monitor. Give it 2 stars of 5, which is just post it. Now see, before it was ID4, it was Dell gaming monitor. Now it's MSI and it's working perfectly. So when you see the list of all product, now list of all product number 4, it changes in the database as well. It changes. See, MSI gaming monitor. So the update is done perfectly. Now I need to call the delete. Delete is really simple, and it is taking a get request. We need to get the product using its ID. Just call product dot delete. Okay, and it's done. And in the response, we will write items deleted successfully, and its name would be delete product. us.py file, we need to add that as well. Product delete, which is having an ID, and its name would be delete product. Delete product and product delete. Now we need to delete, suppose number 4 slash delete of number 4. So items deleted successfully. Now I want to see the list of all product. So there are only 3 products, and in the database as well we see only 3 products. So this is really simple. You just create your routes and your functions based on it, and functions will do all the work based on its post or get. Remember, when you need to show all the information from the database, it is get. When we need to get the view on the one product, then it is also get. When we need to create product, it will be post. But in case of serializer, we need to pass our own data. Data is equal to request.data in the JSON format. When it is valid, when we are posting something, we need to check its validity, then it will save it and response it. And in case of update, we get the information based on which product we need to update, and then we need to serialize it. Serialize it based on its instance is our product. It will get all the information, and also the user data in the JSON format it will take. Okay, so data is equal to request.data, and then it will, if the serializer is valid, then it will save. So in case of post, to create product and update product, we need to check the validity. Okay, then we need to response. It will show the response. In get, it is very simple. Just get the data from the database and just to delete it and show this the item is deleted as a response. So simple view functions. And in the urls.py file, just add your URL and all the component or the functions that you created in the views.py file, and give it any name, suitable name. So simple. So in the model.py file, just model all your data, which is the database representation, okay, of your database, and the serializers is needed, okay, to serialize our data. So product serializer. So our model is product. So our serializer would be product serializer, and we have imported the serializer. So serializer, the model serializer, and its class would be meta, and our model, okay, model would be our product that we need to serialize. And which fields we need to serialize? All the fields in our model. Okay, so then you need to import all of those things. Response to show the response, decorators to show the API view as a GET request or POST request. You need to identify that from the REST framework, and we need to also import the serializers as a product serializers and models to get all the information from the product. So these are all the things that we need. Okay, simple as it is. So in the admin.python, and to get the admin side to register the model, and just need to give the model so that you can import the information at first in the Django admin panel. Otherwise, this function won't work. This show object.all, this function will not work. So that's all the thing that you need. I showed you every single thing that you can do in API view with Django REST framework and MySQL database as well. So I have covered all the things, that product model and what is serialization, why we need API view, GET and POST request, okay, the response, serializers of our model, and convert it into JSON format. And we have discussed about create list of all the product getting, and view product by ID, update it, delete it, all the things using Django REST framework and MySQL. So thanks for watching, guys. I'll be coming with a lot of amazing content for you guys. Thanks for watching, and give me some support so that I can grow more on my channel. And thanks for watching, and I will be coming with lots of amazing videos. Thanks for watching. Peace out.